he thinks he sees the way technology is going and is therefore prepared to put his money where his big mouth is. That's the first. I think the other is he really does understand. He has a very good understanding of the application of technology. So he's a great operator of businesses when he's focused, because he does tend to have a sort of attention span of, rather short attention span. I mean, he has 15 minutes where he signs billion-dollar checks. Wouldn't necessarily recommend that to everybody because he goes on the gut. But on the other hand, when he's actually running a business, like he was trying to run the mobile phone business from scratch in Japan, he did it very well. He's really on top of the technology.
Can I just go into that turmoil a bit more then? Because it sounds almost counterintuitive that you've got this man who is a great business operator. So he's built businesses that were successful. But then you describe him as an addict and a gambler. He says he's not a gambler, but everyone around him says this guy's a loose cannon.
Or addicted to gambling.
Addicted.
Yeah.
He's in businesses for the long haul, but will make a decision on the fly. These traits don't seem to kind of, they all seem at odds. What do you think is like the dominant personality trait within this man that makes him a success?
Well, it almost sounded like Sigmund Freud and the ego and the id, but that's about as far as my knowledge goes. But there are two sides of the brain. And, Masa has definitely got, I think it's more than 50% actually, and seriously, somebody, I better not name them, a billionaire, multi-billionaire on Wall Street. When I asked him about him, he said he's a genius, he sees in the future, but he's addicted. He's addicted to taking risk and spending, vast sums. And I just think that's the fascinating contradiction or tension in his character. How do you explain it? I think you explain it by going back to his roots and seeing him as an outsider, somebody whose family and himself has suffered intense prejudice in Japan because he's Korean Japanese. He had to live as a child under an alias because all the Koreans do. They have Japanese names as well as their Korean names.
As well.
There were squatters after the war, yes. And so if you come from nothing, I guess if you then stake everything, all you do is go back to nothing.
That was a clip from our interview with Lionel Barber, former editor of the FT, about his book, which covers one of the craziest investors on the planet, Masayoshi Son. Click here for the full episode.